What's going on, everybody? I'm M.King, and this is overdue commentary for our 6th devotional, Good Seed, Bad Soil. You know, this devotional was actually something I never saw coming. But then again, the incident that took place that led to it was also something I never saw coming. At work, I felt the Lord calling me to send off an email concerning a specific incident that took place. At the end of the day, I sent it off, and I spoke to my supervisor before I did it, and she agreed with me that it should have been sent off. Well, I never got an answer concerning that. Well, when I arrived at the end of the week, the third shift supervisor was mad at me. This email did mention the first, second, and third shift. Third shift supervisor ripped me a new one, and I was upset about it. So when the account manager came in, I voiced my opinion about the third shift supervisor and the way he looked. Well, at the end of the day, it didn't end up very well. I got written up for insubordination, but one thing I learned was that the third shift supervisor, who happened to rip me a new one because he was upset about the email, and at the time I didn't know that, was simply given a hand. Was simply given a slap on the wrist. You know, it led me into just kind of a whole point where I stepped back and I had to ask myself, God, did you really call me to send off that email advocating for change? If I wouldn't have sent it off, the third shift supervisor wouldn't have gotten upset with me, and I wouldn't have said things he should be improving on. But at the end of the day, when I was at church, God told me, he said, son, he said, was the seed bad or was the soil bad? He said, sometimes you can sow good seed into bad soil. And then he asked that question, was the seed bad or was the soil bad? And it came to my mind that it was the soil, not the seed. What's my point? Sometimes God can have you do something that will not settle well with people, because eventually I found out the second shift supervisor was not happy about that. And you might be wondering what happened in the end. Well, as of today, December 31st, 2020, I'm still in essence dealing with, I'm not going to say the consequences, but I'm going to say the fact that that email shed light on the darkness that's around me. So what's my point? Will God ever call us to do things that will upset others? Well, believe it or not, because of me sending off that email and kind of stepping back and thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have done it, I ended up looking in the Bible and ended up realizing, yes. One of the things that really sticks out to me is John the Baptist. John the Baptist was in the wilderness eating wild locusts and honey. And at the end of the day, he ended up being arrested and ended up being held in prison. Herod found him interesting, as the Bible says. But his niece, Herodias, did not like John the Baptist. Now, people would say, well, John, maybe you should have kept your mouth shut. You wouldn't be in prison. At the end of the day, some would argue that, well, John, you wouldn't have lost your head in the process. But it wasn't the seed John was sowing that was bad. It was Herodias' heart. She manipulated her daughter and pretty much used her to almost sell herself sexually to the guests in order to convince Herod to do something that she wanted. What's my point? We as believers are going to be put in situations where we are going to have to say things that are the truth. And we're sometimes going to say it at times where it's not popular and where it's not going to be appreciated. But it does not mean that God is not calling us. I encourage you to check out Good Seed, Bad Soil, and definitely try to understand that we're coming into an age where, well, honestly, probably an age we never left out of, where God needs people who will speak up for his kingdom. And you know what, folks? I think that's you, because I'm certain it's me. I'm M.King. Thanks for joining us for this devotional commentary. I hope you enjoy Good Seed, Bad Soil, my 6th devotional. All right? God bless, and have a great day. I'll see you next time.